Hello, this is Brennan and welcome to Musings of the Mind. Today we're going to be talking about character reading. This is something I find very important because if you're dealing with a business partner or you're dealing with somebody, a friend, family member, someone who you just met especially, you got to be good at reading their character very fast and very well. And it is my experience that people are very good at this. It's just people second guess themselves, and I'll get back to that in a moment. What do I mean by this? Well, let's say you have a business partner, and this business partner turns out to be an unreliable narcissist. I don't think I need to explain why that's a disaster. Let's say you have a friend, but that person turns out to be a sociopath and wants to kill you. Again, same thing. I don't think I need to really explain why that's bad. Let's say someone's trying to exploit you or something like that. These are all examples where you really need to read someone's character. And from my experience, very often people are really good at this. It's something every human seems to be imbued with. Except maybe with a few exceptions, because there's 8 billion people on Earth. So maybe there's one exception to this. But for the most part, people are really good at reading other people. But often what happens is petty human bullshit gets in the way. Someone's like, well, something's off about Johnny. He's a little too charismatic. He's entrancing. And saying he really focuses on the emotions, particularly about him, and not so much on the situation at hand. But I don't know, maybe I'm just not giving him a fair chance. That's some petty human bullshit right there. The fact that Johnny seems off is enough to warrant extreme circumspection. Here would be another example. If something's always about, if someone's always a me type of person, if someone tries to muscle their way through things, someone twists words, because in a negotiation, there's at least one winning party. Alrighty, and this is the thing, and this is a good example of this actually. Negotiation, something I'm very familiar with. There's a very fine line between negotiation and exploitation. And from my experience coaching clients and almost anyone can determine the difference if they second guess themselves. Here would be a good example. Let's say you're a used car salesman, or I'm a used car salesman. Someone comes up to me. First thing I'm going to ask, what type of car are you looking for? What do you need? What do you need the vehicle to be? Because you don't know, maybe someone's coming that they actually got married and have 2 children, and they want a van, and so you get that. You ask them their price range, and you ask them some questions, and then you find, and what is it? You find the closest thing you have to what they're looking for, and what you're doing here is you're trying to help them get what they want, a car that would fit their needs, and you're trying to get what you want, which honestly in this situation is money. So both people win in the end. The people get the car, they get to spend their money, and you get the money. Both people win, or one person wins, someone else sort of stays neutral. In exploitation, one person wins, one person loses. An example of this is scammers. Someone pretending to be someone pretending to be a company like Amazon or your bank and stealing your info. That's a scam. There's a very fine line here. Negotiations, one or more parties win, and either both parties win, or one party wins, one party stays neutral. Say negotiating a loan with the bank. The bank doesn't win a whole lot there. Well, except they do, but that's a different story. Alright? Yeah. Exploitation and scamming is where someone loses. And this is where things get very tricky, because people can almost always determine what's a scam, what's not, what's proper negotiation, what's exploitation. But petty human bullshit and social conditioning gets in the way. And this is the thing. One of the best ways to get around this is know what you want out of a situation. I cannot emphasize that enough. Know what you want. You're going to buy a car, know what the fuck you want. You're going to negotiate a loan, know what you want. And know what you want. Then know the other person's side, know what their bottom line is, understand their tactics, understand what they want, understand what they're going to do. And this makes you very hard to exploit. And number two, if you have an off feeling, someone doesn't seem quite right, always trust that feeling. If you're walking back home and going down a certain path doesn't seem right, want to take a slightly longer route, take that fucking slightly longer route. That's one thing we learned in self-defense, actually. And that is, if something doesn't feel right, some people around you don't feel right, there's a problem. Your gut feeling pretty much always knows best. And that's the thing. Don't second guess your gut feeling. If you think someone's trying to exploit you, something doesn't seem quite right, they probably are. And that's the thing. Being very good, because I guarantee you already know how to do this. You already have it imbued in your subconscious. But what you need to do, either by watching some videos, like from a different culture, that way you're not engrossed in it, or by interacting with other people, what you need to do is be very good at quickly discerning, okay, that person is trustworthy, that person isn't. That person is good, that person isn't. You need to be able to make that distinction very quickly. Because what I've seen happen is people get this negative feeling about someone. They push it aside. They do business with that guy, and that person turns out to be a scammer, and their whole business is fucked. And it's like, dude, why did you do that? And like, well, I didn't want to be mean, or I just wanted to be nice. I didn't feel I was quite right. It's like, motherfucker, you're an idiot. Don't do that. What you want to do, be very quick. Is this person within your best interest to be interacting with? Yes or no? You need to be able to answer it like that. And that's very easy. You just need to do it repetitively. It's a skill that I guarantee you already have, as I've said so many times. And I'm going to cover this later. I'm going to make like a list of like red flags and stuff, because that often helps people know what exactly to look out for, but really focus on determining who's advantageous, who's disadvantageous, who's that psycho. And I guess I'll tell you a personal story. That is, I was walking back home one night. I had this sudden urge to walk across the street, because there was this guy who seemed... So I was walking back home at nighttime. Yeah, I'm going to tell a story like this. So I was walking back home, and I walked across the street, because I had this urge to do it. I didn't know why, but I just felt compelled to do it. And then this person came by. He looked incredible, and he looked very shady to me. And I got this very bad feeling about the person. So I walked across the street. I avoided the person. I avoided the confrontation with someone. Now, was the person a bad guy? I don't know. But I do know my gut said to stay away from that person. And stay away from that area, because it was the area felt shady to me. And that's the thing. Don't second guess your gut feeling. Someone's shady, don't interact with them. Do everything in your power not to. Doesn't matter if they're a family member, doesn't matter if they're a business partner, doesn't matter if they're a friend, doesn't matter who the fuck they are. Or if they're shady, don't have your best interest at heart, do not interact with them. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.